Welcome! Omnisphere 2.6 just got released and there's tons of new features like an updated overhaul of the sequencer or the arpeggiator of Omnisphere. There's 600 new patches and extended integration for more hardware units like the Roland D50. Okay, my name is Mattias, this is Morningdew Media, and let's take the Omnisphere tour. Let's go! Yeah, so I prepared a little arrangement. And we can open up Omnisphere 2.6 here. What I've done here is that I've loaded up one of these hardware units, the Access Virus A, and we can take a listen to this arrangement. Yeah, so as you can see there's tons of new features to the arpeggiator. And let's just solo this bass patch that we have on this first track. And we have this custom pulse that I set up with this arpeggiator. And we can just make a blank arpeggiator patch here. So we have one step to begin with. Let's drag this out so we have 8 steps. And configure a little pattern. So this is basically how the old arpeggiator worked. But now we have some more features. We can set chaos, which will randomize which of these steps it will play back. And we also have this new feature where we can right click this little box above these steps, and we can set transpose for each of these steps. We can set slides, so we can slide up 12 semitones, and then we can set the time that it takes for this slide to reach that tone. If we slow down this arpeggiator a little bit, like this. And we can set the chord mode, high or lowest, and the step divider, which will divide this step into more steps. Which is a very cool feature, divide this to 4 steps. And then when we are satisfied with this arpeggiator, we can just save it as a preset. Like that. Okay, so let's have a listen to this one of these new hardware modules. So we can select Roland D50. We don't want setup instructions. So the good thing about these hardware integrated setups is that we can, even though we don't have the actual hardware units, we can access these wavetables from these synthesizers and listen to them even though we don't have the hardware. Basic low pass. And we can actually, with Omnisphere, we can go to the main page and set the signal path to be shared. And that means that if I add a filter to the first patch, you can see that we have, or the first part of this patch, we have 4 parts, the A, B, C, and D. And if I set the filter, you can see the yellow line below filter here. If I set the filter for the A part, it will also be applied to the B part. So we don't have to go in each of these parts and make separate changes. And that speeds up your workflow. Let's listen to one of these cool new Arpeggiator presets. You can see here that we have a lot of step dividers and transposing going on. Let's take another preset and listen. Okay, let's listen to another hardware model. Maybe we can. There's so many models in here. It's just insane. It's very fun to play around with this. Maybe the Access Virus T1. Now it's loading up the profile for that specific hardware unit. We just have to wait a little sec here while it's preparing the Omnisphere. And there we have it. Now we can see we have 4 parts, 4 oscillators going on. And since the filter is set to shared, we can just adjust this one knob on the first part and it will affect all this. And we have a very fat sound right there. Okay, so let's see if we can find these new patches that comes with the Omnisphere 2.6. But let's set the hardware unit to none. And now we can go up to the patch browser again. And again, set version, select the Omnisphere 2.6 library, and here we have all the new patches for this new library. So let's take a little listen to one of these. Very cinematic patch right there, and that's the thing with the Omnisphere. I mean, you just load up a preset and it's cinematic instantly. It's just insane, the quality of both the samples and how the presets are designed. Yeah, that's a very nice strumming preset too. Yeah, insane. I'm not going to go through all these presets, but at least we can look at some of them. The Ballerina one. Yeah, very sweet preset right there too. Bouncy Molecules. Very snappy envelopes in this synth too. Yeah. Yeah, and then the pipe. Yeah. That's some. That's some really gnarly presets right there. Sweet. Yeah. Let's record that. Yeah, so I mean, there's so many good patches in this library, and these are some of the new patches. And with this Arpeggiator you can do really fun stuff. Let's look at another cool thing that you can do with this new sequencer. If we take this first arrangement that I did, let's just load up this virus patch again from the hardware units, and load up the Arpeggiator that I prepared, this little beast. Now with this new Arpeggiator version, you can actually capture that Midi data that's generated by this Arpeggiator with all these step dividers and pitchings and everything. So let's press the capture, and we will capture 4 bars, and then let's play. And now you can see it turns red and it will capture this Midi data. And now it says recording finished, and now we can just let's see, drag this out to our arrangement, and we have this Arpeggiator captured. So now we can use this arpeggiation for any other instrument that's not Omnisphere, if we want, as you can see. Yeah, so that's, I don't want to dwell too deep into this new update, but as you can see, the Arpeggiator is very powerful, and there's tons of new great presets that will inspire you to write great music. Yeah, and if you want to check out Omnisphere further and buy it, there's an affiliate link in the description to this video, which will take you to an Amazon store. I hope you liked this video. Please write in the comments what you think about the Omnisphere update and Omnisphere in general. I think it's one of the beast synths out there. It's just insane, and it's still my favorite synthesizer. Okay, so now you can continue and watch my next video. Thanks for watching today, and see you in the next one. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.